All right, first time on the zero turn radius mower, and I can barely feel my fingers. I'm gripping this thing so tight. Almost ran into a couple trees too. So Ryan gave me a good tutorial, and then I think I hit myself in the forehead with a tree limb. So anyways, all right, not too bad. Look at that. Playing with the zero turn. So now I gotta go find Ryan. All right, so it's been about a little over a week since we've been out to Ryan's farm. Figured we'd head up there today and see what's going on. I think he's got the footings in. I'm not sure. Footings in, I don't even know what a footing is, but something the house needs to go on top of, and then the foundation or whatever. So just kind of curious what they've gotten done out there. So I figure we'll just do a rolling video today. Maybe Ryan's out there and can kind of explain what he's got going on here. I'm still working out, trying to figure out my way and how to get out here. It's down here on the right. The last time, is it up here? God dang it. Yeah, but here, let's turn this around here for a second. Well, I can't even turn around because I'm driving. I'm trying to be responsible as I'm driving. I'd show you the road that we're on. Just a two-lane road. Here we go. Was he mowing? There's Kim over there. I don't know if you guys can see Ryan's wife. All right, so while Ryan's over there mowing, we'll go ahead and get the drone up. Although I just came back from a hockey game, and I don't know if I charged up any of the batteries on the drone, so this may be a quick fly, but I want to give you guys a top-down view of how the house foundation's coming and anything else. So let's get the drone up. Yeah, I don't know where that video's at. We're gonna get Ryan to actually explain all the stuff that they got going on.
So at this stage, yeah, we're waiting on subfloor because everything's taking longer to get than it should be. So we had footings poured. Right after the footings, they came and dropped in the foundation, just a 9-foot pour, and then they stripped all the forms on Thursday, and then Tri-County, Dave Hunn does all my foundations, and then Hunn Foundations, and then Tri-County Waterproofing comes in, and we actually did a 40 mil waterproofing because we're going to finish the basement right away. So I kind of wanted.
Is that the black stuff that's on there?
Yeah. So it's a 40 mil. It's called Watchdog from Tri-County, and what they do is it's just a really thick coat of vapor barrier, water barrier, and then they pipe in all the way around the foundation, run the pipe to the sump pit, and then that's where the water goes out if we get water around the foundation. And so they come in and get all that done, and now we're gonna backfill the basement with rock this week. We'll get the garage.
So the garage is over here, right?
Yep, that whole thing has to be backfilled with rock. They overdug a little too far, about 7 feet too far. So that's about 80 ton of rock that's gonna go in there.
So the rock's gonna go in here and then fill up all this
fill
area
up the
here?
whole garage area to pour concrete on. The basement's already got 2.5 feet of rock in it, but you can see the footings that are sticking up. We got to get rock all the way up to that because that's where the basement floor gets poured on top of the footings, which is that bottom piece that the foundation walls are sitting on. So we need that much more rock in there, probably another 40 ton going in there, and then probably have another 100 ton out here, and then we can get the subfloor on. Putting the subfloor on basically locks the walls together, and then we'll push everything in, get it all backfilled, and kind of set our first grade around the house, and then I'll get the road.
What's the time frame on all? I mean, like, what's the time frame for the next, let's say, week and a half?
So by next weekend, we should have the subfloor on, rocking the basement, the garage backfilled, and the whole house backfilled with dirt, and then my goal is by next Sunday to have the floor on, that lookout wall. See where the foundation's cut out back there?
Yeah.
That'll be a lookout wall, framed wall. We'll put the foundation on, and then we'll be ready for wall loads, and then we'll get the wall loads up the following weekend, or maybe next week during the week after this coming. Get the walls up and then frame the garage walls. And
but all that stuff, is that stuff that you're doing as well, or?
yeah, I'll be framing the whole thing from here on out. I'll frame it, set the trusses, and then we'll have trusses. I think I just measured everything, so I'll send all that off tomorrow morning. We should have trusses by about the 16th of October, and I'm hoping in that time frame that we're ready to set right when they come out. So we're looking to have this under roof by the end of October.
Is that when you guys are planning on moving in then?
No, just the shell of it up by the end of October. Then we're waiting on windows, and so if we can get it under roof and then windows come in, windows are about 6 weeks out.
Right.
So we get windows, and then at that point, once we get it, basically try and get the shell up and covered up for the winter, so we can
Then
work inside.
Then you can move in?
Yeah. We're guessing move-in date for December.
So no Thanksgiving yet?
Not the way material's running right now. When you order a subfloor and it takes 2.5 weeks to get it, that's a long time.
And so what's the plan for is the lake going to be like way down the road of getting that dug out, or what?
We're working on that right now. I've got some equipment possibly coming out in the next 2 weeks, and we may go ahead and try and get that dug. At least get the dam up and get it all bowled out, so if we do start getting some rains, it'll start filling. But right now I'm leery on starting anything with all the increase in prices is crazy right now. So we're gonna have a pond, I just don't know how quickly.
And then what about your
The pole barn,
the barn that you got?
we're gonna see if lumber's supposed to start going down.
So let's go break that in real quick. So when is that going to start?
Hopefully if lumber goes down, we'll start it within the next month. But I think we've turned from doing the pole barn first to concentrating on the house first, at least getting it under roof. Hopefully lumber drops, and then this is gonna be a 30 by 60 pole barn. So you'll come in, you'll enter through the front, it'll have garage doors facing us, and then this is a side entrance garage, so you'll be able to, this whole area we're standing in.
So there's the main road. So when you're coming in, the driveway here,
yeah,
right into the driveway.
everything from right here, the size of the building and everything, I want to pour all this in concrete. So it's be like a small parking lot.
And then the pole barn's going to go there.
Yeah, you can see the stakes on the corners.
How big's the house going to be?
Square footage wise, there's 1,300 on the main floor, and then we're gonna have about 900 finished in the basement. So different, it's a very different style house. It's what you're looking at straight through here is all going to be kitchen and great room, all wide open. The master bedroom's on the back corner, overlooking the back. And then laundry room, half bath, and all that stuff is towards the front of the house, but it's a very one bedroom on the main floor. The kids are old enough now, they want to be in the basement. So their bedrooms and a big Jack and Jill bathroom, and then they'll have a kitchen in the basement as well. So it's small square footage, but hopefully I designed it right. This is very different for us.
Is the design, does that change, or are you done with it?
It'll probably change.
As you go?
I have a blueprint, but we'll see things as we start framing, and we'll adjust accordingly, because I've never we've just never been in something this small, so this is very hard to adjust to how the footage works out in this. It all looks good on paper, but on paper and physically walking through it are two very different things.
What's the biggest thing you've had to change within the last week?
The subfloor. Ordering the subfloor, we decided to clear span everything. So we had to we had to order upsized floor joists. We don't want any steel in the basement. There's going to be one piece back there, but it's in one of the walls for a bedroom, so we didn't want any steel running through this whole front half of the basement. So when you're in the basement, everything in the basement is going to be wide open, full 9-foot ceilings. And you know, normally you have like big drop downs and all that stuff. That this whole side will be clear, so it'll be essentially like a 9-foot, you know, ceiling on a first floor.
Is this anything that you've seen somewhere else, or is this stuff that you've...
Yeah, it's all, I mean, we've seen it all, I feel like. I feel like we have.
Like a Frankenstein type thing to where you're kind of pulling from a whole bunch of stuff that you guys wanted?
Yeah, I mean, we really found it when we were in Quebec.
Oh, really?
When we started going into some of these billets houses and stuff, and I'm like, these are really...
He was in Quebec for hockey this year for his son, so...
So going into some of those houses, they were very small, and they were laid out very well. They worked really well. So we just thought, why not try it? Let's do it. And I mean, you know, we've built and sold for so long. Everything we've always wound up building, we were like, why do we build stuff this big? Why do we need these? Do we need all this space? And we really didn't. But now we're putting the test to it, because this is a small house. I mean, the footage is big. I mean, it's it'll be
small house.
It'll be 20. You know, there'll be over 2,000 feet of living area, but it's a very different style living area.
Well, the indoor living area, and then you've got what? How big's the property as a whole?
5 acres.
5 acres of outer living area.
So the idea is back here, this is all going to be, we're going to have a patio back here, and you can see where the retaining wall drops down and goes.
Yeah.
That's holding all the dirt back from Maddie's lookout in her room, so she can see out, and it's going to be a nice clear view of like the lake and everything. This is all going to be concrete, and the roof covers from the garage door. That roof spans, this whole thing is a covered patio out back.
Oh, sweet.
Because we're outside.
Right.
So we'll have, with the roof and everything, we were debating on if we're going to screen it in or not, but this is, for us, a 30 by 15 outdoor living space that may as well be another, however many 100 square feet, because, we throw a couple fans in there and some lights and screens, and we're gonna wind up having a kitchen table and everything out in this.
So right now we're walking through what would be the covered
This will
porch,
all be covered, and then
you're overlooking
Yeah,
where the lake is gonna be right
yeah,
here.
overlooking the pond, and then I'm actually where the bobcat's sitting. We've got a couple small food plots we've put in, and we're gonna try and the levee will kind of protect the deer back in there.
Right.
So they'll feel like they're not being stared at all the time, but they're going to wind up coming up and over the levee to the lake. So I really just want to make it I want this to just remain the same. And because there's deer, I mean, they're every night, they're out here, and that's just, to be sitting here overlooking a pond and wildlife or whatever else, that's just, it's worth the smaller house. We've actually turned the tables on ourselves. The lot was very expensive,
right?
So we're adjusting the house to be able to have this type of layout.
Well, the idea, especially so he's got a tree line which extends for, what is that? How long is this tree line separating you from your neighbor?
1,000 feet
1,000 feet
or better.
And then how thick is that tree line? Because so where the bobcat is, you're going to clear out like a bunch of pathways and stuff in there.
Yeah, so you can see where I've already started. I'm poking into areas, and we're clearing out all that scrub. because I want the visual of through the woods. I want the big trees. A lot of that stuff in there is scrub.
Right.
There is big trees in there, but I like to be able to see into those woods. So I'll come through here as it starts getting colder and bring the forestry mower in, and we'll start chopping all this low hanging stuff down. Anything low, all the scrub trees. We'll start cutting all that out of there, and then eventually, you know, it's like kind of like a park-like setting is what we're after.
Right.
Because this scrub is just, it's all good stuff. I mean, but there's some invasives down in there that we need to get out of there, and it's a what I'm learning is you do one thing, you have to concentrate on one thing at a time. And right now, like, I'm scattered everywhere. I'm taking portions of woods out, and then I'm working on the house, and then I'm mowing grass, and then I'm taking.
Is that the hardest thing for you, is to concentrate on one thing?
I want it all done right now. And
Which you can't do.
I can't, and I keep telling myself that. You can't. You just can't. You have to concentrate on one thing at a time, and it's something I'm learning right now, because if we wind up with the full farming thing on the back with the produce and everything, I try to train myself, because when you start doing that, it's one thing at a time. One thing fails, one thing does well. You can't overlook the things that are failing because something else is doing really well. You have to focus on one thing at a time, and I've been meeting with people and talking to people, and that's probably the hardest thing for, I think, most of us to do, to concentrate on one thing when there's so many things on your plate.
And then really the only thing Kim and the kids care about is just getting the movie. You just have a house done by the time the snow hits.
Yes. And it's not, you know, so in all reality, the original plan was we were going to pull a 45-foot fifth wheel in here and live in the fifth wheel. While we were building. Well,
right.
Fortunately, we didn't. I think we would all have killed each other by now.
Well, but then it's also good that the place that you're staying at right now, you're 5 minutes away.
Yes, we're directly through those trees right there. So
the extension of your property here too. So on the other side of this line is you've got where the orchard's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if people were to watch that first video, you get an overview of where the orchard's going to be,
yeah, you can
and
see
then you've got the farm area that you don't have plans for just yet.
Not yet. We have the back 2 acre and a half or 2 is all beans right now, and we let them farm that because it's just, for me, it's out of sight, out of mind right now. I don't have to mow it. I don't have to take care of it. They farm it, and that's good. But something I have to think about is 2 sides of where I'm wanting to do this orchard style produce, they spray.
Yeah,
so when you get a wind and they're spraying, I mean, they can wipe out an entire orchard with their spray.
Right.
So there's definitely things to consider, because this whole side of us this is all beans. You can almost see it through the trees. It's either beans or corn every year.
So just on this side is your neighbors, but then on that side of the trees down that way is the extension of your area.
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah, and there's beans just on the other side of where the Bobcat is. That goes beans down that side, and then there's another 300 acres over there that they farm. Plus, I think my neighbor's got another 150 behind us that they farm.
That's his neighbor's stuff there. That's his. What do you consider that? Just his barn?
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is going to be the one thing at a time, and that's where I really struggle, because I'm not wired that way, and I have to be, because I'm already learning that I come here and I'm so spread out, I don't know what to start on and what to stop on. So
do you see, since this is like your business anyways, this is what you do, is you build things. Are you seeing this as a job, or are you seeing this more personal? I mean, you're building your house, but is this more of a job, or is this fun for you?
You know, Kim reminded me the other day, she's like, you know, we built the last house you built, we were 32 years old. She's like, you're 45 now. Nights and weekends, you know, we're working all day. We're working on this kind of stuff all day long, and then at 3:30 in the afternoon, we're shutting it down and coming over here and unrolling all the tools and doing it till dark.
Right.
Every night and weekends. So
In addition to 2 kids that have a ton of stuff going on that
Yeah.
you have to go do that stuff, or you got one going out of town for hockey trips. And
there's always something. So I feel like if I can just concentrate, I will. This will be. This will be a passion for me. Even though I look at this and I'm like,
the house is going to be the passion of building, or the farm stuff. And
and that's the whole focusing on one thing. The final product is the goal. But it's, people are like, well, it's 5 acres. Who cares? It's a lot.
right.
It's a lot, and this going on, and all my subcontractors, and there's either rock being delivered or someone here doing something that's calling me all day long while you're working on other projects, and then with other projects going on, they're calling. That's why it's impossible. Just simply this alone, I have to concentrate on one thing at a time because I'll go nuts.
And you guys are coming from just a traditional subdivision.
Yeah,
right?
This has been the goal.
Suburbia, and then
Yeah.
you wanted something like this.
Yeah. I don't want, it's not that I don't want neighbors and I don't want this and that. I feel like I'm like 3 years late on doing this as, an 8th grader and a sophomore in high school. I would have loved to have had them involved in this when they were in 4th grade and 6th grade. But, things just don't work out. The prices of this land, everything just keeps going up, and every time you think you're ready to pull the trigger, something kicks you, and you start over again. But we got a long ways to go, and hopefully, I don't know. I can see it. I can see everything we want to do.
So you were telling me the biggest thing right now, though, the biggest problem is the increase in the building materials going on right now.
Absolutely,
the last few weeks.
Insane. It's the last few months. I mean, there's lumber rates going up 2 and 3 times a day. And when you start talking about a 0.5% increase and then a 1% increase, and then every now and then you won't get anything for 3 days, and then there's a 6% increase in those last 3 days, and you can't keep up with it. So you're constantly going back and trying to figure out, what can I do? How can I do it? The windows for this house that we were originally going to do, I can't even get this year. You can't even get them. And there's houses sitting all over the place.
Are they standard windows, or are they?
That's what we were doing, but now we've actually upgraded our windows. We're going to use a 400 series Anderson, which is a really nice casement window. But that's another thing. We can't get the windows we were going to use, so we're going to upgrade our windows, and it's going to cost more. But it's part of it.
All right, so that's the overview for week 2. You heard right from Ryan. So he's gonna get back to work. All right, we'll see you guys.